week, Keith unearths evidence that America is on its first steps to becoming that movie, The Road. We also discovered the most advanced car security device outside of a commercial from Robocop. And is that an apex predator in your pants, or are you just happy to see us?
Boy, do I have the deal for you! Okay, slightly different deal. Robot lady, sound the alarm!
Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour. Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!
This week is just one more example of why I will never be good at politics. I just read about the Iran, U.S. deal and things like that, and pretty crazy. Just everyone's doing whatever they want. But that's not the important deal that I had to offer for you. Right now, I have a deal that you cannot refuse. You give me the next hour of your life, and I will replace it with one ignorant, uninformed, ill-advised, self-deprecating moron ranting about opinions that I have no right to have, which are probably wrong and absolutely do not matter. I say one because our dear friend Adam, my co-host, engineer Adam, will not be here today. He is, making money like a man, like an adult. Not like a person in his basement making a podcast. Our goal here at Another Wasted Hour is to convince you that where we hail from, just outside Washington, D.C., is not just a city of politics and scandals, but one brimming with art, music, and culture, as impossible as that may seem. So listeners, now that you know why you're here, better than a pot of whales or a murder of crows, in studio we have a Shrewdness of Apes.
Thanks for having me.
Hello, Ian. Welcome. Hi. You're just one. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
You're just
one of three.
You're an ape. You're just
right. A single one.
Yeah, a single ape.
Right.
You would have to have more people in studio for it to be the whole shrewdness.
Right. I don't think even two can be a Shrewdness of Apes.
Do you need at least three?
I think you need at least three.
A trio of apes in order.
That's
I don't know how
Venery
that
goes.
Oh yeah. Group. I think at that point it's not a group. If you it's a group of animals, a shrewdness or a pod. And two is just a pair of animals, right?
I mean, there's so many weird ones. There's a murder of crows, cloud of cats, an embarrassment of pandas.
Oh, that's a good one because they really are.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen videos of them?
Yeah.
They don't know.
Embarrassing.
They don't know what they're doing. I don't know how they... There's no way there's ever been a wild panda, right? Because there's no way that existed in the wild and wasn't eaten immediately.
Red panda is an exception, I think.
No, red panda, because it's just a raccoon.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
Got to give props to those raccoons.
Yeah.
They're survivors.
They're good. We also... There's a bunch of different ones. Let me try and see if I can get you on some of these. Are you good at the groups of animals?
So I have more. There's a parliament of penguins.
Okay. How about bears?
I don't remember what bears is.
Oh, it's a sloth or sleuth of bears.
A sleuth of bears?
Yeah, a sleuth of bears.
Wow.
Elephants. This is a good one.
I'm blanking on that.
A parade of elephants.
Oh,
yeah.
So, there's obviously Pride of Lions.
Yes, Pride of Lions.
Yeah.
Fox. Charm of foxes.
A charm of foxes.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's great giraffes.
I have no idea what
this one
giraffes
seems
is.
obvious.
It's
a tower of giraffes.
Oh, yeah, right.
A tower of giraffes. They're so great.
Yeah, I mean they're all invented in the 16th or 15th century or something.
Owls? Do you know owls? That's one of my favorites.
I used to know that one. I forgot.
Parliament. A parliament of owls.
Oh wait, so maybe maybe I got the penguin one wrong.
Oh, okay.
I think that was.
I don't have penguins on this page.
I got that one switched up. I think penguins must be a Congress or something like that.
I thought that was of something else, something that talks a lot, a Congress of. But yeah, no. My favorite one I think of all time though is peacocks. Do you know peacocks?
No.
An ostentation of peacocks.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just great because you're like, yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. That's what they are. So a group of apes is a Shrewdness of Apes.
With the D.
Not a Shrewness of Apes. That would be
Shrew of Apes, yeah.
A Shrew of Apes.
That's two different animals.
Right. That's
what's going on.
Much more Shakespearean. A Taming of the Shrew of Apes.
Yeah. Right.
And that's how do you describe a Shrewdness of Apes? The band, not necessarily the group of apes.
Right. Yeah. So they're just apes. No.
Yeah. There's many of them. They're like apes, but
they're just
multiplied.
hanging out. No. But no, so the band is kind of this hard rock, progressive group that started back in 2013 in Richmond, Virginia. I moved with the band in 2014. I'm the only original member.
Oh, excellent. You made it through
That's
the
when
purge.
that happened. Yeah, I moved for a job. But
Understandably,
right.
like an adult,
that's
not
what we
like,
all do here. We moved to DC for work.
Yeah, not like some idiot in a basement making a podcast. So you're here in DC now working, and you've got a brand new Shrewdness, which works because it's any group of apes, right? You don't have to have the same group.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
And kind of rock, melodic, prog kind of thing.
Yeah.
Some combination
Yeah.
of those things. Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of music you can't dance to that we.
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
Just
or it's a challenge.
Yeah. Do you watch people try to dance to it in the audience and
Yeah.
just giggle?
Yeah. I mean, most of them just give up and just nod their heads. But
Do you, when you're playing a song, and I assume through your songs, kind of from the prog angle, some time signature changes and things like that, when you're about to do a time signature change, does the whole band just look out into the audience going like, watch this, right? And like, they're like, this is awesome.
Would you
and then
watch them stop
and then they're like,
dancing or
what?
stop moving?
Oh God. Oh, okay. I think I've got it. I think I've got this one now.
But they stop dancing and they smile.
They're
So
like,
they're
"Oh."
enjoying it, even though they stop dancing.
They've
or
got
stop
the, like-
moving.
Yeah, they're like you.
It's like,
I was jamming to that bit, and then you changed it
they're
entirely.
like, go again, these whippersnappers.
Ah, you crazy with your time signatures. So the band is called the Shrewness of Apes. You're releasing a brand new album called A Shrewdness of Apes, which is
Self-titled. Yeah.
really great because if it matches the name of the band, which is
Right.
really lucky.
It's like, you can't forget the name of the band then. It's like,
Yeah.
you have two chances.
It would be really awkward if you named it after a different band. Is there a new album called Guns N' Roses? It's self-titled.
It's actually kind of brilliant.
It's all I do all day. Just make up brilliant things. So, and you're releasing the Saturday, May 18th at Rock and Roll Hotel down in Washington, D.C., which is a fantastic venue. Anyone else playing with you?
Yeah, so there are three other bands. Menage a Garage.
Love them. They've been on the show.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Blue Wreck.
Okay, we haven't
sort of
heard
a
them yet.
blues group, hard rock blues.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Changing Scene.
Okay, so it sounds like quite a packed night.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
come listen to music all night long.
Yep.
Buy yourself a Shrewdness of Apes self-titled album. We've got a track from that called Orange and Chief that we're going to play a little sample of later on. But if you are very impatient, you can go to the 1 hour mark of this show and listen to the entire thing. Then come back and join us for all the insanity that we have in store from this point forward. And if you want to find out more music or find out more about shows and find more music from A Shrewdness of Apes, go to a shrewdnessofapesmusic.com, which means A Shrewdness of Apes.com was taken.
Yes.
Oh man,
Everything's been taken.
what are they doing on a shrewdnessofapes.com? I don't even know.
I have no idea.
It's a very specific website. I assume.
Maybe I don't want to know.
Yeah. Making deals. That's my guess. It's all politics there. I don't know if you heard about this. So about a year ago, we had a Iran U.S. deal. I think some of Europe was involved as well about like, don't have so many like nuclear
Right.
stuff. And we
Right.
were like, and if you do that, then we'll like not be so mean to you. And I'm not good at politics, but those are basically the gists. And then a year ago, the United States was like, nah, we don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And Iran apparently for the last year has been like, I mean, we're still good with it. But as of apparently this week, they were like, we're going to change a few things about this agreement. And so people were like, oh, so you're pulling out of the agreement as well. And they're like, no. We're not going to do necessarily the agreed upon things in the agreement, but we're still in the agreement.
They don't want to do what the U.S. did.
Right. Yeah. They don't want to
They don't want to follow suit.
No, that's not who they want to have their mentor be.
No.
But I think the
Not at
best
all.
part is Europe. Europe is just watching and going like, guys, are you just, oh, no, that's no. Do you need more dip?
Just watching from the sidelines.
Right. Can I order a pizza? I don't know what's going on right now. They're like, please don't with the, oh, you're going to do it anyway. Okay. That's cool. That's fine. No, that's good.
Yeah, the U.S. is doing weird stuff over there. I don't know what's going on.
I just don't, why is there a deal anymore? If in whatever it is, 60 days or whatever, they're going to like change parts of the deal, that the U.S. is not in anymore. Like, can we just agree that there's just not a deal, and we'll just be like, it's not a deal anymore. It's fine.
It ain't
Don't worry
working.
about it. Nobody's following anything. It's like if you're playing baseball, right? And you're like, strike 3. And you're like, I'm going to first. And they're like, that's not how it works. I don't care. I'm doing it anyway. New game. Doing it differently. And they're like, you can't do that. Whatever. Europe, what do you think? They're like, we don't even know what baseball is. What's the original? Yeah, just let him have first. That's fine. Does he score? No? Why are we mad? I don't even know what we're upset about. Just, it's fine. I'm going to play the outfield now. You're not on that team. I don't care. I like the outfield. Okay. All right. Iran's in the outfield now. Like, whatever. I just feel like people misname things, right? Like they don't refer to things in the right way. Like this isn't a deal anymore. It's basically like the Iran, US, Europe suggestion, right? And that's okay. Like it might be a really good suggestion, but let's just not agree that it's a deal anymore. It's like we have a bunch of people who are fighting about climate change, right? And we have listeners, I believe, who are probably on both sides of the aisle when it comes to all of that. Cool. That's fine. I'm not here to judge you. But it drives me nuts when people say things like, climate change doesn't exist. And I go like, I mean, the climate changes, right? Like we all agree that the climate changes sometimes over thousands of years, right? Like there was an ice age. We're not in it anymore. That changed. So it's not just static.
Well, yeah, I read in a poll that 5% of the U.S., or at least of the people who took the poll, didn't believe that climate was changing.
Just in general.
Yeah.
It just felt like it's always
Pretty
same.
high for a developed country.
Which is weird to me, right? Like, because then the next step, so if we all agree that the climates change, right? I'm just saying in a general way, climates have changed. We have categorical, like we have empirical evidence of the fact that that's happened. The next thing is like, do you believe in global warming? And if you say like, no, I go, well, we can measure that, right? Let's measure that. Let's spend money and like, we can determine if it's warming or not. And I think we have a bunch of like pretty good evidence that there's warming happening.
Yeah.
So now that's just another bad label thing. So if what you're trying to like tell me is that what we're doing as human beings isn't the thing that's making it warmer, okay, that's a different conversation. But I wish we could start from like that spot rather than just like clouds
just
don't
negating
exist.
it. Yeah.
Like,
what about these record temperatures? Like,
yeah.
What's that all about? Like,
I just want people to like just learn enough about the other side to like go like, okay, I see what you're saying now, and here's what I'm saying. We both agree on the 80% of this. Let's
Right.
talk about the 20% that we don't disagree with. Instead,
try and have a conversation.
we like back up further, and we're like, I don't even think that there's a world. Like, how can there be global warming when there's no globe? Because it's flat, right? And you're like, okay,
Yeah, right,
there's
yeah.
flat warming. Like, nope, probably not.
Yeah.
That would be a really good
What do you,
argument.
yeah. What do you call people that don't believe the world exists?
Yeah.
Like, what do you call that? Flat earthers like goes off the tongue like really well. Like, you know,
yeah. Let's see.
it's a good term, but like, yeah. What would you? I don't know.
Billionaires. There are people out there. I don't know. Bring me caviar. I don't want to talk to all of these people.
But I heard it's like a proven like social setback where like people are so rich that they don't understand consequences. Like they get in a car wreck and they just get a new car.
Yeah.
And like they just don't understand that you shouldn't have been, drinking while you were driving, and like they just do it all over again. And like there's just no
Well, and that's the thing we
there's
need
no
to
consequence.
learn. Right? That's the thing we have to like get better at, because if we don't understand each other, then we can't get better at it, right? You're
Right.
coming from a place where you think that just cars are disposable. It's easier than filling the gas tank, right? I'll just leave this here and get another one that has gas in it. You know? I'm like, wow, that's what? Okay.
Super wasteful.
Is there
So wasteful.
is there if I just take this one? All right, so Yeah, it's a weird world where we're starting to get more and more separated, it feels like. And at some point we have to
A lot of lyric fodder.
Yeah, right. So once again, Ian from Shrewness of Apes has joined us. Saturday, May 18th, Rock and Roll Hotel, Washington, D.C. Go check out his album release party for his album, A Shrewdness of Apes. Orange and Chief will be playing a little later. Go the 1 hour mark if you want to listen to it right now. And go to a Shrewdness of Apes, shrewdnessofapesmusic.com to go find out more about all of his adventures. What we've learned, we're not good at politics, and we definitely aren't good at being rich, and we definitely aren't good at a lot of things. We're going to try and see if you can be good at something new, though. We're going to make you the editor-in-chief of your brand new publication. Maybe you will get rich. We don't know. Right? And that publication...
That would fly.
Right.
Let's put that in the paper.
And so I'm going to pitch you some news that I found around the internet. You're going to let me know whether or not it should be news, if it'll make it into your publication.
Okay.
And at the end, we're going to need a name for your publication. So think about that.
Okay.
All right. So you ready?
All right.
This is the latest chapter of just because we can doesn't mean we should. Right? When it comes to technology, sometimes we don't use things in the right way. This one's about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has created a never-ending death metal. Yeah. Since late March, the YouTube channel DataBots has been generating a live stream of brand new, never published before, death metal music nonstop, 24/7, using artificial intelligence.
That would make the headlines for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I like listening to metal, so...
I feel like no matter how new that metal is or how good it is, around the 3-minute mark, I'm gonna be like, I'm good. I got to go make a sandwich. Because you're still just growling at me, computer.
It's on topic with metal, which is why it makes it to the publication.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah.
Would you listen to that? Would you just have that in the background?
I would attempt to listen to it.
From the article, they said that although it wasn't their style of music, they did have some connoisseurs of death metal come and listen and said it's pretty solid.
They said it's pretty brutal.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
It's pretty brutal.
Yeah. Although the computer doesn't know, right? The computer's just like, am I doing it right?
This is metal.
Yeah. I am meddling.
Is this metal? This is metal.
It's so metal, it's made of metal. Okay. So yeah, that's in, you're saying?
Yeah, that's in.
We should just play this 24/7 at Disneyland.
Oh, man.
Can you just bring this into Congress and just turn it up and be like, let's do this, people? Not turn this off.
Wake up.
All right, excellent. We got through that one quick. That's great. A caravan of Americans is crossing the Canadian border to get affordable medical care. So we've had all of this news, right, where we've had caravans of South Americans and Central Americans coming up through Mexico and trying to get into the U.S. And now apparently there are some people from the U.S. who are like, Canada seems great.
Everyone's moving north.
Yeah,
it's
right.
the thing to do.
Right. Well, it's getting warmer, right? So you have to get up
We're
to
like
the
birds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so apparently people with type 1 diabetes, at least who are near the border, like within several hours, are going over the border to buy the insulin because it's like 10% of what the cost is here. It's like $30 rather than $300. Yeah.
Not surprising at all.
I'm not sure.
I got in really bad debt. Sorry about interrupting.
No, go.
I got in like really bad debt for just having a really bad healthcare plan last year.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Or no, it was actually 2 years ago. I was having diet problems. Like, as it turns out, there was something wrong with my gut. I can't really eat dairy anymore.
Oh,
but it took forever to figure out what the problem was.
Yeah.
And like I had a high deductible plan, and like I was just going appointment after appointment trying to figure out what was going on.
That's
and
tough.
I mean, it's a serious problem here.
Yeah.
Just saying. So that would make it into the newspaper.
That's
publication.
in. Okay,
that's
that's
definitely in.
I think it feels like we have two parties both saying, well, we've got to take care of healthcare, but definitely not that way. It doesn't seem like it's getting better. We've made some strides in some areas, but still very expensive, right? In general, for all people, even if you're on the Obamacare. Now we have some really great things where it's like pre-existing conditions and stuff being covered, and not
more
being
people
dropped.
are covered now.
Yeah, but they're all just covered by
before.
really expensive. Like, there's no like one where you're like, that seems really reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, and there doesn't really seem to be like one specific reason why. It's like the entire system is like, well, I don't know. That's just how it is.
I just want money. Is that such a big deal? I'm gonna go to first. That's what I'm gonna like. That's not no. You can't just go to first.
Going
you
back to
struck
the
out.
baseball references.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I
Works
think
so well with everything.
probably been an issue with the pitcher, and and Europe is still like, I don't know what you're doing. What are your rules?
Yeah,
We all do it this way.
we all do it this way, and it's working fine. Y'all are crazy over there.
I don't know. Apparently, if we go to that way, everything's terrible. That's all I know from listening to the news on some stations. Everything's terrible no matter what we do. We just have to deal with it. Everything is always going to be horrible, assuming that the other people are involved. All right. So, yeah, we'll put that in. That's news. Let's see. What else can we do? This is good. A woman pulls a gator from her pants when cops ask if she has, quote, anything else. That's right.
From South Florida.
It is from Florida. How did you know? No, actually, San Diego is actually no. But I mean,
Florida woman blank.
yeah. What I'm saying is, if I'm ever in San Diego, though, I'm pulling out my Tinder because she's got to be a hoot on dates, right? Like,
that'll be a date to remember. Yeah.
also, she also had 41 small 3-striped turtles in her car.
She just loves animals.
41 turtles. 41 turtles sounds like a band name. Right? Like, that's not a real thing, right?
Yeah, no, it's true.
What is a group of turtles?
No, I have no idea.
A herd of turtles?
A herd? Is it really a herd
No,
of turtles?
I don't think so. It should be. It's
Well, that would definitely make the venery group. 41 is enough to call it a group.
Right.
Definitely.
A bale of turtles.
A bale of.
I think it should be called a patience of turtles.
Yeah, no, no. A patience of turtles would be really good.
Yeah. What would we be like? What else could we name?
It's like, what do you associate with turtles? You know.
Yeah, a hair beater of turtles. Is that reasonable? A hair beater? I guess those were tortoises, right? That would be tortoises because the tortoise.
Right,
and
the
hair.
tortoise. Right.
So a hair beater of tortoises. A first place of tortoises.
A winner of tortoises.
Yes.
Slow but steady wins the race.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know what a frisbee of turtles.
Oh man,
they fly. That you can skip them. A skip of turtles.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna call it from now.
Not tortoises though.
No, you don't.
They're
skip.
land based.
Yeah, do not skip a tortoise. You'll kill
They'll
a
be
tortoise.
very upset.
If you skip a tortoise, they'll be like, that one's not working anymore. I'll just leave this here and
What
get
is this? What is this water?
Yeah, I'll buy a new one that has gas in it. This one obviously has run out.
No, those larger tortoises like live like almost like
200
over 100
years?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's like
something like
crazy
that.
amount
Yeah.
of time. Yeah.
No,
Like
that's
I
weird.
think there was one tortoise who was like alive like I think in like the Civil War era, and they had a picture of like him standing next to, you know, folks in the 1850s, and
Oh
then, like,
wow!
and
Yeah.
like yeah, and like but
He
that same
died
turtle
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like-
You're right, yeah.
That's crazy. This is why I try not to do a lot. I'm very lazy because I think it will make me live longer, like a turtle. Just sit on the couch and just chew on lettuce.
Just preserve yourself.
Yeah.
Don't do anything too crazy.
I feel it's very strong. It's
I mean, the body just breaks down, you know, over time eventually. So
yeah.
You know,
So is it news?
oh, right.
Lady
Going
pulls
back
gator
to
from
the-
her pants.
Uh,
We've got work to do, Ian. Ian, we gotta
I'm
stay
sorry.
focused.
all right. It'll make the paper, but probably not the headlines.
Okay. All right. So we're in.
In the
Excellent.
back. In the back.
So far, I'm batting like 1,000. I got really good. That's also a baseball reference. But here's the thing. This is going to be an awesome publication. Okay. Friendly reminder. Don't shoot at tornadoes.
No,
This is important.
that doesn't make it.
That is a public service.
That
I'm just saying. So police officers in Lawrence, Kansas recently sent out a reminder via Twitter to exercise safety during severe weather, prompting one user to reply that they would ride out a tornado with, quote, whiskey and a shotgun. And the police responded to the tweet advising it is not safe to shoot at a tornado.
I mean, there are no tornadoes here, so.
We just had a tornado in Reston.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, well, I live in DC. I didn't get that warning.
It almost hit the Trader Joe's. What would we have done if it had destroyed the Trader
My
Joe's? We would have had to go to
Such devastation.
to like Safeway or Harris Teeter,
No.
or
No.
Whole Foods, or Giant, or all the other places that have
Food
food.
Lion.
It wouldn't have been quaint. There have been too many like options. It wouldn't have been.
What are the
hand
4
selected.
adjectives in my products?
Right.
Sea salt, organic, dark chocolate, peppermints.
These are just chocolates. How am I supposed to eat this
Jesus.
crap? All right, so not news, you're saying.
Nah.
In DC, you definitely need to not shoot at tornadoes.
I mean,
All right. 70-year-old, I don't know how to say this, Gujarat man? I don't know where Gujarat is. I'll be honest, I should have probably looked into this more. This 70-year-old guy dies after biting a snake that bit him first.
oh, I think I might have seen this.
Yeah, did you see it?
I think I saw like a picture where he was in the hospital and his face was all poofy, and they had a picture of the snake. And
I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, but I got to give him credit, right? Like the snake definitely deserved it. I want to find out. It didn't say anything about this, but it doesn't say that the snake also died. I don't know. It does say that this is not the only reported incident where a man died after eating a live snake. So no, it looks like maybe he did kill it and then ate it as revenge,
oh my god,
which I like. That's how you hunt. You put your leg out there, anything that bites it, you're allowed to eat. I like this guy. So is it news?
yeah,
Yeah, all right.
yeah.
Actually, we need to know that you're probably not eating snakes just willy-nilly.
Yeah.
The latest VW Jetta ad suggests that a stick shift is a security feature.
What?
Yeah, so there's a new ad for the Volkswagen Jetta, and there's like guys driving along, and they go to park to go into like a convenience store, and they get out, and like the passenger's like, "Dude, you're gonna like lock your car?" And the guy's like, "It's a stick shift."
So I was watching comedians in cars getting coffee.
Yeah.
One of the comedians on the show didn't know how a stick shift worked.
Like what it was.
He was like, so like, do the different gears just like get you like faster? Does it just like make the car go faster?
Yeah. I mean, for not
but, like,
knowing, you've nailed it.
But the fact that he didn't know,
Right.
like he had to ask, like,
I watched a
I
video
don't
on
know. It
YouTube.
just made me cringe.
I watched a video on YouTube like 2 months ago, and it was 2 teenagers where their parents challenged them to dial a phone number on a rotary phone. And
I've seen
they
this.
had
Yeah,
3
yeah,
minutes,
yeah.
and they couldn't. They were like at the end, they were like, ah! They were like doing all these things, and they like almost got it, but like they couldn't.
They failed.
It was like a shrewdness of 8s. They're just tapping it and like picking up the
Yeah,
receiver
it's like
and
the
putting it down
2001 Space Odyssey music.
Yeah.
Starting, like, the files are in the computer.
in the computer. Yeah,
Zoolander reference.
it's amazing the number of things that like we take for granted growing up, and like were so prevalent when we were kids, and now like as kids are growing up and becoming, teenagers, there's no idea. Like,
But some things come back, like, vinyl, and for some
Sure.
reason cassette players. I still haven't understood that.
yeah. So let me ask you this question: what does a 56K modem sound like?
I try to remember this like recently.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember what the.
Right,
Yeah,
like that whole thing?
but like specifically, what's the
Oh.
order?
Oh, yeah.
Like
But you
know,
know in your head the
if I
sound.
heard it, I would be like, yeah, that's America Online.
But if you go
connecting-
talk to like a 12-year-old, they'd be like, "What the fuck is all this noise? Is this metal being produced by an AI?"
They would be so grateful if
Yeah,
they knew what we went through.
just waiting 10 minutes to see boobs. You,
Just like a row of pixels at
Yeah,
a time.
uh-huh.
Like,
oh, is that a nipple? I'm gonna give it 2
hold
more
on, let me
minutes.
get some coffee. And come back. Oh, the one image on the webpage still hasn't loaded yet.
Yeah. All right. So is it news? Stick shifts now security feature.
It's so ridiculous. I just can't.
It's not
I-
wrong.
I can't.
Because if you think about it, like
it
if
hurts too much to put it in the publication.
if a punk
It hurts
kid
too much.
jumped into your car and was like, "I'm stealing this car," they'd be like, "What is fucking happening with this car? Just go in a fucking drive." What the hell? Hate German cars.
I don't know. It's a selfish reason. The reason why I wouldn't want it in there. But,
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's not gonna fly.
No. Okay. All right. Last couple. We're gonna speed through this. We're running low on time. All right. So newer diabetes drug linked to flesh-eating genital infection.
I mean, I feel like we should put that in there.
What I'd like to do, I'm just gonna give you an option here. We just do the headline.
Yeah, right.
Just so people are like, "What?
Oh
Are
my
you fucking
God!
kidding me?" No, where's the rest of this? I need to know the name of it. I need to
just have like the rest of the newspaper blank.
Right.
Like you know, it's like
just redacted.
it's just blank.
You just redact it.
like a-
right? like the
It's like
Mueller
a horror
report.
movie.
Yeah, like the Mueller report.
It's all you need to know.
It says like a lot of people don't know that the diabetes drug, and then just black, and then then just flesh-eating genital infection, black, death in 3 days, right? And then you're like, no,
And chaos ensues.
yeah. That's
The end of civilization as we know it.
so you're this is the best. It's like clickbait, but we're doing it in a newspaper. Click on that.
Yellow journalism.
Yeah. That's in?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Last but not least. Boston police officer fired after strippers allegedly stole his gun. I checked, for the record, to see if stole his gun had quotes around it. It didn't. So
Was it a warm gun?
they may have actually stolen his gun.
Oh man. Did he ever get it back?
I assume not. He's not a police officer anymore.
Oh, that's true. Good point.
They didn't go you're fired. Here, have your badge and gun. And go back to the strip club.
And have it stolen once more.
Yes. So, is it news?
Probably wouldn't make it.
No.
Nah. It's
All right.
funny, but it's just like,
I agree. All right, so that's the end. Good job. How do you feel you did?
I feel like I would read that.
Yeah, I think it's
I would
a
read
good
that.
publication. What is it named? So if other people want to go and pick this up at the newsstands, they would look for
I don't know. I like redundancy. How about the Times?
the Times. And then you could have a
I
multiple.
got the Times just in time.
What if you had the X Times? So then you don't know if it's the Times.
Oh, that's even better.
How do we say that? I don't even know.
For the record, it's THYME Times.
It has to do with herbs.
I don't know.
All right, I like it. I feel like we should have had more cooking involved here, but
Recipes.
maybe the gator. We got the
some
snake. It killed
Gator
people.
jerky.
Yeah. All right, excellent. Good job. So once again I always like to say this for those just joining us on a podcast, if you just like to download podcasts and start in the middle of them, we have Ian here from A Shrewness of Apes.
Strange habit.
Yes, from A Shrewdness of Apes. They're going to be releasing a brand new album called A Shrewdness of Apes, Saturday, May 18th at Rock and Roll Hotel in Washington, D.C. And we have a track of that called Orange and Chief. So we're going to play a little sample of that. And the whole tracks at the end of the show go to the 1 hour mark. Tell us a little bit about this track, Orange and Chief.
Well, so this was actually one of the more recent songs that I wrote on this album. And this album was sort of I was planning on having another song instead on the album, but my drummer at the time insisted that this track be on there.
Okay. There was a vote, and
there's a sense of urgency.
He won the vote, or did?
Well, no, it was unanimous. Like everyone agreed. After he brought it up.
So it was unanimous not to put it on, but even though that lost the popular vote, it still went into the
no.
album.
Like the plan to not have it on there was my own like internal idea that I never I maybe like said in passing, but he came to me and was like, this song needs to be on there.
Right. And he had fewer votes, but it still made it in. Right? Is that understood?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a democracy still.
All right. So musically, where are you coming from musically? I think I would assume from the imagery we can all get a sense of kind of what the topic is, but
it may or may not be about the presidency.
Who knows? But musically, where did you come from on it? Because I think that's a piece that maybe people wouldn't derive just by listening. So what inspired you there?
So I typically write the music part and then come up with the lyrics.
Oh, interesting.
Second.
Okay.
And sometimes it takes me like a long time to write a song, and other times it just takes like one afternoon. But it all comes down to having a bunch of riffs. We have a lot of riff-raff in our music.
Okay.
I had the main riff kind of in my head for a while, and some other ideas sort of came about, and I wrote it in 2017.
Oh, wow.
And,
okay.
All these songs have actually been like, beyond this track, have been written like years ago.
And they're
I'm
just
backlogged with music.
Just making
it's a
it
good problem to have.
Yeah, just making it into the light now in recordings.
Yeah.
Did you do
it jumped the line.
Did you make the recording recently, or did that happen back then as well?
No. So this was all recorded at Bias Studios.
Oh, okay. Great studio.
Yeah. Ken Barnum recorded and mixed our record. And we got a referral discount from a band called Touch the Buffalo,
which is a thing you shouldn't do. You should not do that. That is not advisable, unless maybe you're a Shrewdness of Apes, and then you could probably do it.
Ape can take on a buffalo. Maybe I don't know.
So, did you have any kind of influences musically on this particular track? Like, did you draw from anything, or is it just kind of a vignette of different like riffs that you kind of felt really worked together?
It's generally a good showcase of our sound. We kind of tend to like we like to play sort of stuff that leans more on the complex, odd meter, like kind of blending genres, that kind of stuff. And this track is a good example of like our sound. Like if you could pick any Shrewdness of Apes song, it's like, what do they sound like? This is a good one.
So if people like this, they're probably going to enjoy coming and seeing you live and the general gist. And I think that's a really good thing to say, right? Because a lot of bands will say like, oh, we do a lot of different things, but there's always like something that is the wheelhouse, right? Even though you might have a little bit of ska over here, or you might dabble in some jazz or something like that. There's always like an identity that then you pull from to other places.
Right.
So it's nice to be able to hear kind of what that original identity is. If you like that, you'll probably like all the takes on everything else as well. So let's take a listen to a snippet of of Orange and Chief from the band A Shrewdness of Apes from their album A Shrewdness of Apes. Yeah, you can definitely hear that was one of those transitions where people were dancing and then they all smiled, right? Like, wait, what's it? Oh, we're going faster. We're going faster now. Okay. we were jamming along and oh no, different. Okay. Cool. I'm going to first.
That happens a lot. That happens a lot in our music.
That's great. So yeah, a little bit of I think I said this before we got started. A little of like a perfect circle. Like there's some melodic there, but also some intricacy and things like that. Great stuff. So if you like that, definitely go check out more of their music. Head down Saturday, May 18th to Rock and Roll Hotel in Washington, D.C. to see them release this album, and go up to shrewdnessofapesmusic.com to get more music and future shows as well. I assume there will be more coming up in this year.
Yeah. So in June, we'll be playing at Slash Run.
Also down in D.C.
Also
Yep.
down in D.C. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. In Northeast D.C.
Yeah, so follow along on the website and you'll get all the details for that and check them out. I assume you'll be playing that song live.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Excellent.
You'll hear that one.
If you want to hear it in its entirety, fast forward to the 1 hour mark of the show and jam along and smile and try to dance to it. And then come back and join us for what we like to call Please God, Just Get One Right. This is our little game show we've created. Our last guest, Galen Clark, he's playing Thursday, May 9th at the Tin Lizzy Wineworks. He's which is over in Clarksville, Maryland, by the way. He picked a category for you, and we've selected 6 questions in that category. All you have to do is get one right. It's not easy, but if you don't get any right, that's okay. You can take that pain and just pass it on to our next guest, because you'll need to create a category for them. So think about that. All right. So, you want to know what Galen Clark selected for you?
All right. Let's hear it.
Pocket watches. That look on your face says a lot.
What?
Pocket watches. That's the category.
Oh.
The category is pocket watches.
Gotcha.
How do you feel?
I feel like I know a little bit.
Yeah, I know that it's a watch that goes in your pocket. All right. The most expensive watch ever sold was a Patek Philippe Henry Graves Super Complication. Yeah. Sold at Sotheby's auction in 2014. Can you guess how much the watch was sold for? I'll give it to the nearest million. That'll give you a hint that it's more than $1 million.
What year?
It was sold in 2014.
Okay. All right. 4 million.
Ooh, good guess, but not even close. $23.98 million.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
The adjusted price would be $25.382 million. Yeah.
I would have never gotten that right.
No.
That's insane.
For a watch. That's crazy, right? All right. Next one up. The first timepieces to be worn in the 16th century Europe were called clock watches because of their transitional size between clocks and watches. They were heavy drum-shaped brass cylinders, several inches in diameter, engraved and ornamented, as you would expect. What was notable about the face of these first wearable clocks? What was unusual about them? Not a lot to go on, I understand.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming they had an hour hand and a minute hand and
So what's your guess
second
that's
hand.
unusual about them?
I feel like it's like a shot in the dark here.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. That's how the game works.
All right. They're like decorated.
If it makes you feel
Maybe
any
they
better,
had
Galen Clark had to guess things about rare birds in the Canadian Northwest.
oh,
So
jeez.
it could be worse. I'm just saying, Ian.
Right. How about they had sort of like a magnifying glass effect on the top, so it looks like it was magnified.
Nice. I like that's a good guess. You were kind of on the right trail, but you went off the other direction. They only had an hour hand.
Oh, I was talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
man.
only had an hour hand because that's very intricate to create minutes and seconds and
Oh,
things
sure,
like that.
sure.
So
Yeah.
they just started with hours. And if you think about it, before they had like clocks that you were carrying around, a lot of people told time by the tolling of the bells, the church bells.
Oh, sure.
Every hour.
Sure.
So you just really needed to know like which hour it was, and then you could pretty much plan your day.
Yeah.
They weren't down to the minute yet.
Everything was 4-ish, 5-ish.
Yeah. Sometime after 4, between 4 and 5. But yeah, these are hard. That's okay. If you hate the topic, remember you can go Thursday, May 9th to the Tin Lizzy Wineworks in Clarkville, Maryland, and you can beat up Galen Clark. You can confront him about how much you do not appreciate.
We're inciting violence on this show.
Yes, yeah. All right, in 1853, Tissot introduced the first mass-produced pocket watch, as well as the first pocket watch with what new feature?
A minute hand.
Well, this is 1850.
Oh no,
The 16th century
sorry. Yeah.
is when the hour
I'm in the wrong
won.
century here.
Yeah. After 200 years, they probably figured out
Yeah,
the minute hand.
right. What new feature?
So it's almost the 1900s, right? We're looking at 1853.
They had a chain that you could connect to your vest.
Oh, so you don't lose it?
Yeah.
Makes sense. No, that was earlier. They had that
Okay,
pretty
yeah.
early on.
Yeah.
2 time zones.
What?
It could tell you 2 different time zones.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like you know how your clocks now, like
Cool,
if you
cool,
go like,
yeah.
oh, I'm in Colorado now, so I'm
Gotcha.
two forward.
Yeah.
It would have both of the times. So if you needed to do work in a different
Gotcha.
time zone, you could track that.
All right.
All right. Between 1989, this is closer to our time here, right? 1989 and 2015, the Patek Philippe Caliber 89 was the world's most complicated pocket mechanical watch. How many hands does it have?
5.
Oh, yeah, you would think, right? It's definitely more than 3,
Yeah.
right? 24.
How do you even?
It had 24 hands, 1,728 components in total, 33 special features, including a thermometer and a star chart, and it was made of 18 karat gold.
I mean, modern pocket watches really got to step it up.
Right. You're like, which one of these is the
It's
second?
like
Is this a millisecond hand? Oh my God.
it's like we have smartphones. Like we really got to make it fancy.
Yeah.
For people to get them.
All right. So you've got a couple more left. You haven't gotten one yet. You got to go 50%.
These are tough.
They are. They're very difficult. Yeah. Why do shops often refer to 10 minutes past 10 o'clock or sometimes 10 minutes until 2 o'clock as happy time and preset their display pieces to those times?
I have no idea.
So between, so this happens a lot in watch shops. So when they go in, they display their watches. They'll set all of them to 10 minutes past 10 o'clock, or sometimes 10 minutes to 2 o'clock for all of their watches, and they refer to it as happy time. Any guesses?
I'm blanking totally on this one.
Ooh, I thought you might have a shot at this one. This is the one I thought would be the closest to a gimme. When displayed at that time, the hands on the watch represent a smile, right? Because it's like a V. It's like a smiling face.
Oh.
Right?
I guess. The V and smiling face. I don't know. This is a
Yeah, it's
stretch
like
for me.
it's like a smile, right?
I guess.
This
yeah.
helps to subconsciously raise the customer's mood, which subliminally encourages them to make a purchase. So they feel like if they're in a better mood because they see all these kind of
Smiling
smiles.
smiling watches.
Yeah. So it's happy time.
I don't know. Yeah, that's I don't even know if I would have guessed that one.
I would have given you it. The hands look like a smile, like that. That's all I was looking
If
for.
you said that, then yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I could have
I think
guessed on that one.
I think
But
you
yeah,
had a shot at that, and that would have been a winner.
I don't know. I'm pessimistic.
Last one. Here we go. The American Railroad Association set some of the strictest guidelines on the quality of watches. One of the greatest impetuses for these guidelines, these strict guidelines, was a terrible train wreck around the Lake Shoreline and Michigan Southern Railway in Kipton, Ohio, on April 19th, 1891, where one of the engineer's watches had stopped for how many minutes?
So I guess it's maybe minutes. Okay, so 2 minutes. I want to go low here.
So
Just to make it like
You were very close. 4 minutes. That's
okay.
all it took. 4 minutes off on one of the watches, and it made 2 trains collide.
Yeah, that's
So
still pretty crazy. Yeah.
So they they had everybody get very high quality watches. They were very stringent on what that quality would be, like how many seconds it would lose a week and things like that. And then everybody had to have them so that trains wouldn't hit one another.
That's crazy.
And so that's why you have that like imagery of the conductor coming through and like checking his pocket watch.
Right.
You know, and be
He's
like,
always
all
checking his
aboard.
watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Part of the job.
They are actually some of the best watches you could buy. So like if you see like an antique American Railroad watch, they'll still work to this day. And
Nice.
They're very good apparently.
It's the best.
So I've learned a lot about watches as well. I cheated. I have all the answers, but unfortunately you did not get one right. So
I did not get anyone right.
feel free to let Galen know. Again, the Tin Lizzie Wine Works, that's on May 9th. So that's tomorrow. You can go take go step and just stare at him as he plays and be like, you son of a bitch.
Heckle him.
But what you do get to do is decide what is the next category that our next guest is going to have to deal with.
All right. Yeah.
Hmm.
So think about that one.
Yeah. What's on your mind? It could be easy if you want to throw a softball to our next guest, or you can go for a hard one, and then you can listen along as they have to deal with what you had to deal with. Depends on how you want karma to go on this, Ian.
The so the topic before this one was birds or something?
Yeah, it was rare birds in the Canadian Northwest. We had classic Twilight episodes before that.
I might want to do like a nod to Monty Python and do types of swallows.
Types of swallows seems a little small.
Okay, all right. Maybe,
I have to have
maybe
6 questions about swallows.
Six questions about swallows.
Yeah.
No. All right, no.
I feel like
we just did one about birds anyway.
Yeah.
What
are you passionate
I'm a big
about?
movie buff.
Okay.
Or not a big movie buff. I like watching movies.
Okay.
Hitchcock.
All right. Hitchcock movies. I like that because there's a chance, right? Somebody could be like, most people are aware of Hitchcock and a bunch of the movies that he made, but not everybody's like super intimately knowledgeable about it. So it's like, it's difficult, but somebody could have a shot at it.
Right.
I like that. Those are my favorite categories where it's like not so obscure where like just nobody's going to ever know it.
Yeah.
But you do have to have like some special knowledge.
Right.
Yeah. All right, great. So listen in next week to hear our 6 questions about Alfred Hitchcock and his movies. Great. I think that'll be very good. Let's move on to near and far
again.
Yeah. This is where we're going to ask you about a couple of stories that have happened to you, one near and one far.
That's what
it's all about.
I understand.
You understand. And so let's start off with near. I hear that once you were mugged.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
which is usually not a story that's near, but this happened really close to home.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I was a teenager and this happened right in front of my house.
Oh my goodness.
So
where were you living at the time?
So my parents are divorced and my dad lives in DC to this day.
Oh, okay. So
and it was in Mount Pleasant. And so we decided to go get a movie. I'm sort of like
Alfred Hitchcock movie, I assume.
We rented Anchorman that night.
Not quite Hitchcock.
Yeah. We rented a comedy, and I can't say that was a good time to watch a comedy after getting mugged. Not the best time to watch Anchorman.
You're watching it, and you're like, "Fuck you! I don't need this." Is
in a terrible mood.
Funny. I'm not in the mood for this. My face is still bleeding.
So before we leave to go to the video store because it's that long ago.
Right. To go check out a movie.
Yeah, we checked out a movie at the video store.
On a videotape? Did you get a videotape?
It was a DVD.
It was a DVD. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you rewind it?
Anyway.
All right.
So we see on the news that there have been some muggings in the neighborhood.
Oh wow. Okay.
But so like there was foreshadowing. Like
a
like
serial
there was a possibility this could happen, but we like didn't think, oh, it wouldn't happen to us.
And how old are you at the time?
I was like 14, 15.
So you're like, yeah, no, I would probably beat him up.
I'm invincible.
Yeah, I would just run.
I'm a stupid teenager.
Yeah, no way this is happening to me.
So I decided to not take my wallet with me because for some reason I think that's a good idea.
How did you get a movie with no wallet?
My dad got it for me. Like I said, my parents are divorced. You know.
Oh, okay, so he walked with you.
Like,
Okay.
yeah. So we're walking together. We get the movie, and there's no one around.
Yeah.
It's like a barren wasteland in town.
Wow. Which is not the case now in Mount Pleasant.
No.
There's people all the time everywhere. But
right.
There was a time when it was very calm and quiet, apparently.
Yeah, for a brief moment. And so so we're walking back, and we walked past like pretty much the only person we've seen this whole trip.
Right.
He's hooded. I think nothing of it until he grabs me, like turns me towards my dad, and holds like something I can't see.
Yeah.
Out of my peripherals to my head, and he says, "Give me the money, or the kid's dead."
Wow.
Yeah, and it was at knife point. So
wait, he held a knife to your head.
He held a knife to my head.
I've never seen that. It's always the neck, right? Like,
I mean, it was like general head, neck area, like like.
Can
here.
you stab someone in the head? I feel like the skull would be in the way.
Well, this
I mean, it's probably good.
The temples are pretty vulnerable.
I mean, it's probably good that your dad was like, "Give it a shot."
I'd like to see you try.
Right. I'm calling your bluff. I don't even like
we
that.
don't negotiate with you.
Yeah.
No, but so yeah, my dad, complies and hands his wallet over. Meanwhile, there's a guy up the street, a guy down the street, and then there's like a guy off the corner of the intersection in like the getaway car. Like this is very highly organized, like a group of guys. And so at this point, you can kind of tell, or we could tell that they're in a hurry.
Okay.
Like the stuff's on the news. They've been found out. Like the cops are after them.
Right.
And so, like they ask me for money, and like I invert my pockets. I'm like, I have nothing. And they're like, well, just get on the ground. And they all get in the car and they drive away. And that was like the longest minute of my life right there.
Yeah, you're like not sure when you should move. And
Right. And meanwhile, it's snowing, so it's like extra quiet.
Oh man.
You know what I mean?
And you had to go like face down in the snow.
Face down in the snow, yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's like a movie. And the fact that they didn't actually take Anchorman. I mean, they could have had Anchorman.
They didn't take they didn't take the movie. But meanwhile, so my dad like canceled all his credit cards, and they found his wallet in a bush like 2 blocks away. Like they just took the cash and tossed it.
So we have about 30 seconds left. You want to do our Far story here? This was a show where the headliner wanted to play after you. What happened?
So yeah, this was in my college group.
Okay.
And we were playing at this place called the Plaza Bowl in Richmond, Virginia, where you could duck pin bowl.
Perfect.
At a show.
Yeah.
And so we're getting this show together, and the touring band wanted to headline, and we say maybe it's a good idea if you guys open for us, since the people that show up to us can see you guys as well.
Right.
And they're like, no. We wanna try and like we've been touring for a while, and we want to make this a big deal.
Sure.
And we go, okay, and
we play
the show
here.
happens, and we play before them, and surprise, everyone leaves, and they end up playing to us.
See, instant karma. That's how that works out.
Yeah, learning experience.
Well,
for
unfortunately, we have run out of time. Ian, thank you so much for spending this hour with us. Shrewdness of Apes. Saturday, May 18th, Rock and Roll Hotel, Washington, D.C., album release party for an album called A Shrewdness of Apes. Go to shrewdnessofapesmusic.com to find out more and to also get music and future shows. Please like our post, follow us, retweet us, and share the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We cannot do this without you. Also, don't forget to review the show on Facebook, iTunes, and Google Play, and subscribe to us and listen to us all of the time. If you're an artist, musician, or culture creator in the DC area, we want you on our show. Email us at booking@anotherwastedhour.com. Thanks to Kevin Evinger, McNally22, Justin Rogers, Big Meadow Records, Big Meadow Studios, Alchemical Records for all their contributions. Most of all, thanks to Shrewness of Apes and you, our fans, for wasting a perfectly good hour with us. This has been another Wasted Hour, and if you just realized that, don't blame us. We warned you.